Minecraft, another update? It feels like we just got the cherry biome one. Not that I'm complaining. I always love a new update. This update may be one of the coolest ones we've seen yet from Minecraft, or at least in a little while. I think this update, although it doesn't have a theme like usual, it has quite a few really cool things that are added, and a lot of people are really excited, and I am too. So let's get into some of the things that are announced. There seems to be two things that many players are most excited about, and as you can see, we got a little bit of crafting table with a button here, and this is one of the main things people are excited about. Mostly redstoners, which I can completely understand. It does seem like an incredibly cool product that I'm not going to be able to use because I'm not very smart. But it's been said by a lot of redstoners that it will revolutionize crafting, and I can see why. It seems like it's going to be a really cool addition into the game, and I think it's going to be one of the coolest things since pistons were added, or observers, is what a lot of people were saying at least. With the automatic crafting, it seems to look like a normal crafting table, except with a lot of redstone components. Obviously, I don't have it here, so we're just making do with a normal crafting table with a little button. And with that button, it's supposed to drop out a lot of items. Some people have theorized the crafting recipe, which seemed to be not too expensive, but also not too less expensive. But it looks really cool, especially the fact that you can automate it with redstone, have it on a clock, and just continuously craft stuff, which one of the main things people are excited about are dispensers. Dispensers have been notoriously hard to make, and it's a lifestyle upgrade that Minecraft has needed to do for a while. Redstone components, especially dispensers, are so irritating to craft. I don't really have that issue because I don't do redstone ever. I just can't do it. I can't understand how a lot of the people can. Anyway, a lot of the redstone components are really hard or annoying to craft just because of the sheer amount of ingredients they need, especially dispensers, as they need bows, and bows can only fit in one inventory spot, which sucks when you have to craft hundreds of these. But with the automatic crafter, you can hook it up with some string and some sticks and then some stone and just automatically craft the bows, dispensers, and just continuously do it. Have an endless crafting recipe for it. And I think that's going to be really cool. I think it's a step forward in inventory management, which is an update that players have been asking for a while since we've had updates that have added a lot more things to the game. And having this being able to automatically craft some of the more irritating blocks that take up a lot of inventory space when needing to craft is definitely a step in the right direction for lifestyle upgrades like inventory management, which maybe one day we'll get a cool update with some inventory management. That will make me very excited. Anyway, some of the variations that I've seen that people have been coming up with is a gold farm, for example. When you have a gold farm, all of the mobs that drop it only drop these, which are little gold nuggets. They take up a lot of space in chests, and they're annoying to recraft into these gold ingots. And then once you have a lot of gold ingots, you need to craft them into these gold blocks. Again, incredibly irritating. If you have an automatic crafter, you can sync that all up because you guys are redstoners and you guys can do anything that you want because you're talented. And you can sync it all up to automatically craft it into these steps, which will be insane for storage space capacity and efficiency for mob farms, as you can just AFK without worrying about a limit that you will have. Going to be really exciting to have. And that is another thing, wood as well. Hook it up to an automatic wood farm, which you can make with moss, azalea, and bone meal, and just have a continuous infinite supply of wood. Then you could craft into planks, and then have infinite kind of outsourcing parts where you can do slabs, stairs, or fences even, because it'll just be able to have all the wood variants that you can. Item frames could also be hooked up with a cow farm that could automatically craft it with the wood farm. I think it could be really cool. It makes a lot of factory type corporations possible now, and I think a lot of cool builds can be made from it. Massive factories that have automatic crafters that just go in and out. It helps with not being able to restock shops if you're on an SMP. You don't have to worry about any of the restocking if you have it all made there. I'm especially excited to see how people can make all of these factories and have a bunch of redstone lines, maybe with minecart tracks. It'll make the whole world look a lot more alive, which, I don't know, I think it's going to be really, really cool, and I'm so glad Minecraft has updated this, and I'm sure a lot of people are as well. The next thing that people seem equally excited about, however, I'm a little bit more excited about this, because mostly I don't know redstone. This isn't going to be very much use to me for at least a little while until maybe I'll get into it, but I'm really not good at it. Trial chambers have been added, which I think could be the coolest structure added in Minecraft since the stronghold. It seems to be a lot bigger, which makes it more explorable with other players or just yourself. I used to get lost in strongholds all the time, and now I can get lost in one of these, one of the trial chambers. Strongholds, I always made little bases in. I thought it was really cute, you know, living in a little cave in a stronghold. Trial chambers, I like that, but they're so much prettier. Although they don't have a portal or an end portal to kind of make it a worthwhile trip, I still think it's worthwhile enough. I think the trial chambers are going to make a lot more multiplayer servers just be so much cooler and more playable with, you know, friends. The rooms in the trial chambers seem to be designed for multiplayer servers, or not really designed for it, but it is made for it, I guess. It's got new spawners that have been added or announced that will be able to sense how many players are in a room or in a game and spawn an appropriate number of mobs. I don't know how it will work, whether it's in a chunk distance of the spawner that it can sense, or if it's the amount of players on the server. I have a feeling it's not going to be that. I think that these spawners are definitely a step in making Minecraft more multiplayer accessible. It is already very multiplayer accessible, but when it comes to a lot of the team fights, it gets kind of boring after a while, as it's a lot easier to fight in a team. For example, the Ender Dragon, extremely easy to fight as a team. you can just blitz through it. Same with the Wither. It's not really a challenge when you have a bunch of people coming through it. Having spawners that dedicate to that will definitely make Minecraft a lot more multiplayer accessible and a lot more challenging for a lot of players. I think the spawners will make some very cool minigame ideas in both survival servers and minigame servers, as I think that they can be modded or changed, coded in different ways in order to make the spawners used for cool minigames. And even in survival, I think they could be used for really cool minigames made. I'm very excited, especially because they can be reused and has a loot in the end of it. Oh, it's a lot of excitement coming through. Now, in these trial chambers, we also saw the addition of a few new blocks, mainly the copper variants and some tough bricks, both of which look amazing, and I'm very excited for as a builder. Again, I love this redstone. I think I'm really excited to see a bunch of the redstoners do their thing. Whenever a new redstone thing is added, they go ham. It's amazing. Me, however, I'm like, ooh, new brick block. Exciting. And we don't fully know the extent of what's being added. They kind of hinted at a few things. We saw a few chiseled copper blocks, which definitely looked really, really cool. Copper grates were announced, and I think we saw copper trapdoors and copper doors as well, which will be really, really cool. One thing that many players are hoping for, including myself, are copper walls. We don't know if they're going to be added. We didn't see them in the snapshot, or at least I didn't. Maybe it was there and I'm just blind. But it's still a possibility that they could add it and they just weren't spawning in the trial chambers. There could be a possibility there's a bunch more things being added, but again, they weren't shown in the update. However, I think what's being added is very cool. One of the other things that's been added is a copper bulb, I think is what they're calling it. And the cool thing about this is the mood lighting aspect. As copper oxidizes, so will the copper bulb. And as it oxidizes, it will get dimmer, which creates mood lighting for the rest of the server. And again, a way to make it brighter will be just to deoxidize it. And I think that's going to be a very cool addition in the trial chambers, as it's going to be dark. You don't have to spam torches everywhere. Just bring an axe and pew, 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 go all around. It'll be so cool. The tough bricks as well will be an amazing new addition. I always love when a new brick variant adds, and this one also has a really cool detailing at the bottom. Tough is a really easy block together, and it's everywhere, and it's not really often used. It's only used for, or mainly used for, texturing and terraforming, which is fine. It's a nice block. I do enjoy it. I think the bricks, beautiful. They look so nice, and I'm very excited to see what people have in mind for these. Now, obviously I don't have the breeze, so we're going to go for the yellow version of the breeze, which is the blaze. But the breeze is a mob that was announced in it, and it looks very cool. I am excited for it. It's like a mini tornado, or an overworld blaze, as a lot of players have been calling it. It's said to activate a lot of the redstone contraptions, and the room is also part of the fight, as it has air attacks that will activate, as it will activate trap doors that are in the floor and go into pits, and I don't know, it looks so cool. There's buttons and stuff around, and lamps that I guess will turn on and off because of the redstone attacks. Oh, I think it's going to be incredibly cool. The way it does damage will be an airball attack, or what it seems to be an airball attack, but it has also said that if the airball attack does not hit you, then you won't take damage. But it will fling you to the side, and I think that will be a really new way of playing and fighting mobs, as we kind of, a lot of it you just get, head on head PvP, which is great. But I think a brand new way of fighting where you get flung up, much like the Ender Dragon hits you up into the air, it will be really exciting. It's described as a playful mob as it bounces around the room in order to fight you, which is going to be really, really fun. And it interacts with all of the buttons and levers in it, which many have kind of theorized as a way of Mojang being able to add the Copper Golem. The Copper Golem, if you didn't know, was a mob that was announced in a mob vote and then didn't win. A lot of people were disappointed about that. However, the Breeze mob has a lot of the elements that the Copper Golem did have, although in a hostile manner. I still think it's going to be a really cool addition, and I'm glad that they brought in some of the elements of the Copper Golem that people were upset that didn't win. Speaking of the mob vote, the Armadillo won this year. Some players aren't quite happy with it, some are very happy, and some are just neutral. They don't really care. The addition of the Armadillo means that dogs can have armor. We go back to some of the last questions I had in my last mob vote video, and most notably, how do we get the armor off? Do we have to kill the dog and drop it like pigs drop saddles? I hope not, because that's not great. Do you have to wait till it wears out? Does it wear out? Or can you just take it off like horse armor? We don't know. There's quite a few questions we still have that I don't think will be answered until it comes out. I think all of the mobs announced would have been cool additions to the game, but I am happy the Armadillo won. But I would have frankly been happy if any of them won, because I think they were all really cool ideas for mobs, and I think they could have all had really cool aspects and added things to the game that we wouldn't have really had before. I do think it's great that the Savannah biome finally has a reason for players to venture out there, and it does look like a cute mob, so I guess that helps out with it. With the 2 new announced mobs, we have an idea of what armadillos drop, that being scoots. However, we don't have any idea of what the breeze may drop. Could we get new items? Like the variation of blaze rods, seeing as they are very similar and players have been calling it the overworld blaze. They could be used for potions, maybe levitation, seeing as it bounces around, or jump boost because it bounces around. I don't know. We'll see. It could be another ore as well, like iron, which could make new iron farms. The only reason I say iron is because of the colour, it's grey. But it doesn't really make a lot of sense because it's heavy and breezes are light. They're breeze. They are a breeze. That's what they float around. Iron does not float. But redstone could also make a lot of sense, seeing as it activates all the redstone contraptions. But we don't really know. And it could also just be nothing for now. They could add something a bit later for it to drop. Again, we're not sure. I think it's a really cool mob regardless, and a new player fight, and I'm not very disappointed in the update. I don't think there's actually a single thing I am disappointed in the update for. I think this update has something for everyone, and if we subtract the controversy around the mob vote and be excited about the new mobs added, this update is going to be revolutionary for multiplayer and survival game. And it also seems like it's not too long of a wait, which I'm also really excited about. As in the Minecraft Live, they said the trial chambers were said to be merely in a few weeks. And that's amazing. That's so quick. Way better than last year. I am excited to see how the new players take these items into the next level. Most notably the crafter. Oh, you redstone geniuses have a brand new toy to play with. And I'm excited to see what you guys make. Anyway, that's about all for the video. Are you happy with this update? What are you most excited for? I cannot wait for this update personally, and I think it's a really cool update that's just added a bunch of stuff for all players. I know there's a few things I probably missed, but I think these were the main components that were announced in the update, or the main ones that I thought were important. So very exciting. We've got building blocks, we've got a brand new adventure structure, Strange new mob. We've got redstone capabilities. It's actually just insane. We don't know how people are going to deal with this update. I know that I'm excited. And anyway, I think that's about all for the video. Are you excited for the update? I am. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Bye!